Are you going to wake up tomorrow morning and finally see that long-awaited Social Security deposit in your account? Or are you still left wondering if something has gone wrong again? Are you going to sleep tonight with that familiar knot of worry in your stomach, hoping that when the sun comes up, the money you've been counting on will finally be there? I want you to hear this update calmly, clearly, and directly from me. I'm Sarah, and late tonight, an important confirmation came in that many seniors have been anxiously waiting for. This is the kind of news that can help you sleep a little easier, knowing that the system is finally moving in your favor. According to official information from the Social Security Administration and the U.S. Treasury, a new batch of Social Security payments has been approved and scheduled for release overnight. That means some retirees, people with disabilities, and SSI recipients may see their money arrive by early morning, possibly even before you've had your first cup of coffee. This is not speculation. This is not a rumor from social media, and this is not one of those exaggerated headlines designed to cause panic or false hope. I know how many misleading stories are out there. How many times you've clicked on something expecting real information only to find vague promises or clickbait. This update is based on verified Treasury payment files, confirmed processing schedules, and the official Social Security payment calendar. My goal is to explain what is happening, who this affects, and what you should do next in a way that feels steady, respectful, and easy to understand. If you've been checking your bank account again and again today, refreshing the page, logging in from your phone, wondering why nothing has shown up yet, you're not alone. I hear from hundreds of seniors every single week who tell me they've checked their account 5 times before noon, 10 times by dinner, and then again right before bed, just hoping to see that the deposit has finally posted. For many seniors, these payments are not extra money. They are not a bonus or a supplement to some other income stream. They are rent, they are groceries, they are medications that cannot be skipped. They are the utility bill that's already overdue. And when a deposit is late, even by a day or two, the stress can feel absolutely overwhelming. That's why tonight's confirmation matters. That's why I'm recording this now, late in the evening, so you can go to sleep knowing what to expect when you wake up. Here's what we know so far, based on the latest information from Treasury processing systems and Social Security Administration updates. A new Social Security payment batch was processed late this evening and sent through the Treasury's overnight system. These payments are scheduled to move through the Federal Reserve's clearing process while most of the country is asleep. The system works around the clock, even when we don't, processing billions of dollars in federal payments through secure, encrypted channels. For many banks, that means deposits begin posting sometime between the very early morning hours, sometimes as early as 2 or 3 a.m., and shortly after sunrise. Different banks have different posting schedules, but the money is moving through the system right now as you're watching this. If your payment was expected earlier this week but did not arrive, if you've been waiting and wondering what happened, this batch may include you. There's a very real possibility that the delay you've been experiencing is about to be resolved. I want to pause here for a moment and say something important, something I think needs to be acknowledged more often in these updates. Waiting for Social Security money can feel exhausting, not just financially exhausting, but emotionally and mentally exhausting. I hear from retirees, widows, veterans, and disabled individuals every single week who tell me the same thing in slightly different words. Prices keep rising. Bills don't wait. And when income is fixed, when there's no possibility of picking up extra hours or finding a side job, every delay feels personal. It feels like the system doesn't see you, doesn't care, doesn't understand how much you're counting on this money to arrive exactly when it's supposed to. If that's how you're feeling tonight, if you've been stressed about this for days, please know that your concern is completely valid and you are not failing. You earned these benefits through years of work, service, and contribution to this country. You paid into the system with every single paycheck. This money is yours. It's not charity. It's not a gift. It's earned income, and you have every right to expect it to arrive on time. Now, let's talk about who this payment batch is meant to cover, because not everyone will see a deposit tomorrow morning, and I want you to understand whether you're likely to be included in this cycle. According to the latest Treasury release information and SSA processing logs, this overnight deposit group includes several specific categories of recipients. First, it includes retirees and SSDI beneficiaries whose regular payment dates fall around the middle of the month and whose deposits were still showing as pending earlier this week. In many cases, these are individuals whose birthdays fall between the 11th and the 20th of the month, which places them in the third Wednesday payment window according to Social Security's standard payment schedule. If that's you, if your birthday falls in that range and your payment didn't arrive when it was supposed to this past Wednesday, there's a strong likelihood your deposit is part of this overnight batch. Second, this batch includes certain SSI recipients who experienced short delays earlier this week due to system maintenance and processing backlogs. The Social Security Administration performed routine system updates over the weekend, and while those updates were necessary to improve long-term reliability, they did cause temporary delays for some SSI payments that normally arrive on the first of the month. Those issues have now been resolved, and the delayed payments were bundled into this overnight release. If you're an SSI recipient and your payment was delayed by a few days this month, tonight's processing should include your deposit. Third, some individuals who receive concurrent benefits, such as Social Security combined with Veterans Affairs benefits or state supplements, may also see activity with this batch, especially if their accounts showed pending status earlier today. These combined payments sometimes move through slightly different processing channels, which can occasionally cause brief delays that get resolved in batches like this one. What does all of this mean in plain terms, without the bureaucratic language and technical jargon? If you usually receive your Social Security, SSI, or SSDI payment around this time of the month and it hasn't shown up yet, if you've been waiting and checking your account repeatedly, there is a strong chance your deposit is included in this overnight processing cycle. Many major banks are part of this cycle. That includes large national institutions like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Capital One, and Navy Federal Credit Union. It also includes accounts linked through Direct Express, which is the prepaid debit card program that many Social Security recipients use. Each bank has its own internal posting schedule based on when they receive and process the files from the Federal Reserve. So some people may see funds appear very early in the morning, before dawn even. Others may see them later in the morning, maybe by 8 or 9 a.m. Both situations are completely normal. It doesn't mean one person's payment is more secure than another's. It just reflects the technical timing of how different banks process these transactions. Let me share a couple of real-world examples to help this feel more concrete, to show you what this looks like for actual people going through this right now. A 72-year-old retiree in Indiana had been checking her Direct Express account since Tuesday morning with no luck. She logged in multiple times each day, growing more worried with each check. Late tonight, just a few hours ago, her account finally updated to show a scheduled deposit date for tomorrow morning. She can now go to sleep knowing the money is on its way. Another individual, a disabled veteran in Texas who receives both Social Security disability payments and VA-linked benefits, noticed a pending deposit notification in his credit union account this evening. The notification showed a release time of early tomorrow morning. After days of uncertainty, he now knows exactly when to expect his funds. A widow in Arizona who relies entirely on survivor benefits checked her account throughout the day today and saw nothing. Then, just before 10 p.m. her time, she received a text notification from her bank indicating that a deposit was scheduled to post overnight. These are exactly the types of accounts and situations included in this batch. These aren't unusual cases. These are typical examples of what's happening right now for thousands of people across the country. Now, let's talk briefly about the scale of this release, because understanding the size of these operations can help explain why delays sometimes happen and why batch processing is necessary. The Treasury's payment file for this cycle includes several $billion in total Social Security-related payments, covering millions of individual deposits nationwide. This is not a small adjustment or a test run or a partial release. This is a full confirmed payment release moving through the normal federal payment system at full capacity. Behind the scenes, all of this happens through what's called The Automated Clearinghouse Network, or ACH. The Treasury sends encrypted payment files to the Federal Reserve, which then routes them to thousands of financial institutions overnight through secure data channels. Most banks credit accounts as soon as those files clear their internal systems, often before branches open or customer service lines are staffed for the day. That's why many seniors wake up to find the money already there, already available, without having to call anyone or visit a branch. The system is designed to work invisibly and automatically, which is wonderful when it works smoothly. But when there are delays, that same automated nature can make it hard to get answers about what's happening or when to expect resolution. Now, I want to address something that often causes confusion and concern, something I hear questions about constantly. The amount you see in your account may not always match exactly what you expect at first glance. This doesn't mean there's an error. It usually means there are deductions or adjustments that weren't immediately obvious. Deductions for Medicare, Part B premiums, voluntary federal tax withholding, or past overpayment adjustments can all affect the final deposit amount. If your Medicare premium went up this year, which it did for many people, that higher premium is deducted automatically before the money reaches your account. If you recently applied for a Medicare savings program, extra help for prescription drug costs, or a low-income subsidy through your state, some states have already begun syncing those approvals with current payment cycles. That can result in reduced deductions or small adjustments showing up in your deposit, which might make the amount slightly different than what you're used to seeing. If you owed money from a previous overpayment, Social Security may be withholding a portion of your payment to recover that amount. These withholdings are supposed to be explained in notices sent to you, but sometimes those notices get lost in the mail or are written in language that's hard to understand. The best way to confirm your exact payment details is by checking your My Social Security account online. If you haven't set up an online account yet, I genuinely encourage you to do so. It's one of the most useful tools available for understanding your benefits. When you log into My Social Security, look at your payment history section. It will show the date your payment was issued, the gross amount before any deductions, and the net amount that was actually sent to your bank. If it shows as issued or pending, that means the money is already on its way through the system. You can also see a breakdown of deductions, which helps explain any differences between what you expected and what you received. Now let's talk about expectations moving forward, because while tonight's news is positive, it's important to understand the bigger picture. This overnight batch is part of a broader effort by the Treasury and Social Security Administration to reduce delays and improve processing reliability. After the disruptions many people experienced last year, especially around holidays when payment schedules shifted and some deposits arrived days late, system updates have been underway to prevent those same problems from happening again. Officials have indicated that these improvements are designed to reduce posting delays, minimize return errors when bank account information is incorrect, and create more buffer time in the schedule to handle unexpected technical issues without causing widespread delays. That should lead to more consistent deposits over time. The goal is that future payment cycles will be more predictable, with fewer surprises and less anxiety about whether money will arrive on time. That said, it's still important to stay realistic. While this payment wave brings relief to many people who've been waiting, it doesn't solve the underlying financial pressure that many seniors are facing. Groceries remain expensive. In many parts of the country, food costs are still 20% to 30% higher than they were just a few years ago. Utility bills are higher in many areas, especially during winter months, when heating costs spike. And looking ahead, Medicare costs for the coming year are expected to rise modestly, which means even less take-home income for many beneficiaries. Even when payments arrive on time, even when everything works exactly as it should, budgeting can still feel impossibly tight for people living on fixed incomes. That's why I want to gently remind you of a few practical steps that can help protect your income and reduce stress, not just this month, but going forward. First, always keep your direct deposit and contact information up to date with Social Security. Even small errors like one wrong digit in your bank account number or an outdated address can cause unexpected delays that take weeks to resolve. If you've changed banks, moved to a new address, or updated your phone number, make sure Social Security has that current information. Second, review your Medicare coverage each year during the annual enrollment period. Some Medicare Advantage plans offer Part B giveback benefits, which means the plan pays part or all of your Part B premium. Other plans offer lower out-of-pocket costs for doctor visits and prescriptions. Coverage varies dramatically between plans, so it's important to compare carefully rather than just staying with whatever you have now. Third, if your income is limited, and especially if you're living primarily on Social Security with little other income, look into programs like Extra Help or your state's Medicare Savings Program. These programs can reduce prescription costs and monthly premiums, sometimes significantly. Extra Help can lower or even eliminate your Part D premium and reduce what you pay at the pharmacy. Medicare savings programs can pay your Part B premium entirely if you qualify. Many people who are eligible for these programs don't know they exist or assume they won't qualify. It's worth taking the time to apply because the savings can make a real difference in your monthly budget. Fourth, if taxes on your benefits are a concern, if you're worried about owing money when you file your return, you can request voluntary federal tax withholding using Form W-4V. This allows Social Security to withhold a percentage of your benefit each month to cover estimated taxes. It helps prevent surprises at tax time and gives you more control over your monthly take-home amount. You can choose to have 7%, 10%, 12%, or 22% withheld. You can change this at any time by submitting a new form, and you can stop withholding entirely if your circumstances change. And finally, if you ever feel overwhelmed or unsure where to turn for help, your local state health insurance assistance program, known as SHIP, offers free, unbiased guidance for seniors navigating Medicare and Social Security issues. These counselors are trained to help you understand your options without trying to sell you anything. You can find your local SHIP office by searching online or calling Medicare directly. Before we close, let me reassure you of this, because I know some people worry when they hear about overnight payment batches. If your payment is included in tonight's batch, it does not mean anything special or unusual about your benefits. It doesn't mean you're flagged for review or that something was wrong with your account. It simply means your account is part of this particular processing cycle due to timing and scheduling factors. And if your payment does not arrive tomorrow morning, that does not automatically mean there is a problem. Posting times vary between banks. Some deposits continue to appear throughout the day and occasionally into the following day, depending on how quickly your specific bank processes ACH transactions. If your payment still hasn't arrived by tomorrow afternoon, then it would be reasonable to check your My Social Security account online or contact Social Security to verify the status. But if it's just not there first thing in the morning, give it some time before worrying. Looking ahead, additional payment batches are scheduled in the coming weeks. The regular monthly schedule continues, with payments going out based on birth dates, just like always. And any holiday timing adjustments for upcoming months will be announced well in advance, so you'll know if your payment date is shifting due to a weekend or federal holiday. Staying informed, calm, and prepared is the best way to protect your peace of mind. You shouldn't have to live in constant anxiety about whether your money will arrive. You've earned these benefits through a lifetime of work. You deserve clear information, not confusion. You deserve timely payments, not delays and uncertainty. And as always, I'll continue to bring you updates based on confirmed sources, explained in a way that respects your time and your trust. I don't do clickbait. I don't exaggerate. I give you the facts as clearly as I can so you can make informed decisions and sleep a little easier at night. For now, take a deep breath. You've done everything you can do today. Check your account in the morning when you're ready, but try not to let worry steal your rest tonight. Know that help, information, and support are always within reach. You're not alone in this. There are millions of other seniors going through the same waiting, the same uncertainty, the same relief when the money finally arrives. Your concerns are valid, your needs are real, and the system, for all its flaws and delays, is designed to support you. Tonight's payment batch is proof that the system is working, even if it doesn't always work as quickly or as smoothly as we'd like. We'd sleep well. Tomorrow may bring the financial relief you've been waiting for, and whether it does or doesn't, you'll face it with the same strength and resilience that got you through decades of work and life's challenges. You've got this, and I'll be here with you every step of the way.